welcome to No Broken Legs. I am your host, Evan Belfiore. Joining me on this Wednesday night at the end of August is Jimmy Champ. Jimmy, how are you tonight?
Man, I'm doing great, bro. Ready to talk some more NFC football.
That's right. We're going to move on to the NFC North. We discussed the NFC East. That was our previous video. You can check that out in the description below. But for the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers have been the class of this division for a long time. They are the favorites at minus 155 to win the division. They are plus 500 to win the conference, plus 1,200 to win the Super Bowl. Make the playoffs, yes, minus 450, no, plus 370. Their over-under sits at 11. Jimmy, do the Green Bay Packers win more or less than 11 games?
Yeah, I project the Packers at 14, so give me the over on that bet for sure.
No worries about the loss of Davante Adams.
Not really. I mean, I guess just like I feel like with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, I am betting on Aaron Rodgers' talent and ability to that. A lot of, as I talked about when we talked about the Raiders, I think a lot of Davante Adams' success came from the way Aaron Rodgers places footballs. I do like Allen Lazard. They drafted some young talent at wide receiver. I think this team will be fine, but I do think the loss of Davante Adams just means more workload for Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I think they're going to change their style. I think it's going to be slow football because the defense is just so good. Like, they are probably a top 3 unit in the NFL if they stay healthy. They don't have a lot of depth, but they have multiple superstars at every level. This team is going to be excellent on both sides of the ball. I think it's going to be like the death by 1,000 knife cuts. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to dink and dunk his way to an NFC championship game.
Wow, I don't have them going that far. I have them winning the division. I'm also taking the over here. I think they're gonna win the division, as I said, and then lose early in the playoffs like they have because Aaron Rodgers just doesn't quite seem to be able to finish games in the playoffs. And he had a lot of chances to beat that San Francisco team. He couldn't come through. He was really focused on Davante Adams, which is what has me worried in those big playoff games. But that's not a concern for now. They're going to win more than 11 games. Their schedule really sets up nicely. They're going to have a lot of games against teams that Aaron Rodgers will eat for lunch. And
yeah,
you brought up the A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones backfield. I had both of them on one of my fantasy teams last year, and there were weeks I just started both of them, and it worked out great. That's a great tandem. And it's surprising that there's a head coach out there that actually uses 2 good running backs at the same time, finds a way to get them both plenty of touches. Just, I don't know, maybe Kevin Stefanski should be watching some of what Green Bay's doing.
How about that?
The second best team in this division is the Minnesota Vikings, Jimmy. Their over-under sits at 8.5. I got this over-under at 8.5. I took the over. It has since moved up to 9.5. It's minus 110 on the over and the under. To win the division, they're plus 250, plus 1,700 to win the conference, plus 4,000 for the Super Bowl. Make the playoffs, yes, minus 115, no, minus 105. Jimmy, do you think the Minnesota Vikings win more or less than 9.5 games?
I projected them out at 13 wins. I am very bullish on this Vikings team. I love the new coach. I think just changing that up, I think, is going to make a difference. I love that they just acquired Jalen Reagor, which I think shows they believe Adam Thielen's better years are behind him. They weren't sure what they had there on the team, so they got a guy who I think is Jalen Reagor. I think is really good, and Kirk Cousins really good in regular season. That's just what it is. Like, those are the games Kirk Cousins feasts on. He knows how to distribute the ball. Dalvin Cook is great. They've added pieces on defense. I think the Vikings are really, really good. I think they're a top 6 team in the NFC, maybe even a top 5 team in the NFC. I think they're going to win a playoff game. They're going to go into somebody's house and win a playoff game this year. I really like the Vikings, man.
Yeah, I like them to go over. I like them to make the playoffs, and I like them to lose in the first or second round. Their schedule sets up really nicely for Kirk Cousins. There's no stretches in there where you go, oh, man, we're just outgunned at quarterback. Like, that's kind of where Kirk Cousins is at this point in his career. Dalvin Cook is really good. Justin Jefferson's a beast. Do you think this Vikings team will use Justin Jefferson like the Rams were using Cooper Kupp? Do you think we'll see him more involved in getting closer to 15 to 20 touches a game?
Yes.
I mean, I guess they should at least see if it works because he's really good.
Yeah, I think adding Jalen Rager I think helps. I really do, and I think this offense is going to really click, really be good. And I think Justin Jefferson may be the best wide receiver in the NFL. He's definitely right there in that top tier with Cup and Chase, and I think he's going to have a chance to really, really shine this year.
Unfortunately, Jimmy, somebody who is not going to have the potential to shine this year is our good friend from the Ohio State Buckeyes, Justin Fields. The Chicago Bears are a mess. Their over-under sits at 5.5. It's plus 115 on the over, minus 105. Or sorry, the Bears over-under sits at 5.5. The under is plus 115, over minus 105. Man, plus 400 yes to make the playoffs, minus 560 no. This team's bad. It seems like they're tanking even though they have their quarterback, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of need to tank because they need as much talent as they can, and you get that drafting near the top of each round. I project this team at 2 wins. I think they're really bad. They don't have enough talent anywhere at any level to be successful. David Montgomery's okay. Khalil Herbert's okay. Darnell Mooney's an okay wide receiver, but there's nothing that really helped Justin Fields. Cole Kmet is a good tight end. I mean, if the offensive line happens to really pop, maybe they'll score some points, but I don't think their defense is very good. They've got an entire new regime in Chicago right now, and they're trying to figure it out. Like, they kind of really this year in the draft, they kind of just went best player available every round. Like, we just need talent. I think it's going to take a couple more drafts like that to get the Bears anywhere back to near acceptable levels for their organization. And I hope Justin Fields is still with them because I think he's really, really talented. I think he could be a really good quarterback in the NFL if he just gets some more pieces around him.
Yeah, he needs to be on a better team, and right now that's not them. I like Dan Campbell's approach. I don't think they're very good. I don't know if Dan Campbell's very good. Jared Goff has shown no ability to be an above-average quarterback without Sean McVay. They do get Hutchinson from Michigan. We've talked about this before. You think other teams are just going to scheme him out because there's not enough talent around him. I really agree with that. Like, where is this team better than they were last year, Jimmy? Like, they're just,
I don't think they are.
They aren't. There just isn't a spot you look at and say that's the case. So I'm with you. I like the under. I think this team's going to be really bad. You think the Bears and the Lions are going to be the worst teams in the league?
Yeah, I think the Bears, I project the Bears, the Lions, and the Falcons all at 2 wins. So I think those are the 3 worst teams in the NFL.
Okay. I think I have Atlanta like a step worse.
Wow.
I think Detroit and Chicago are really bad, but I think they're still better than Atlanta. But we will talk about them next time on the NFC South. Any final thoughts on the NFC North?
No, I think there's probably not another division in football where there are 2 teams that I think are just so considerably better than the other 2 teams in their division. Like, I can't wait to watch the Packers-Vikings game. If the Vikings could steal one game against the Packers, they may have a chance at the division. I do believe the Vikings are that good. I think the Packers are going to be great. And I just think the Lions and the Bears are really bad. I do think the Lions are going to cover some spreads, but I think those teams are near the very bottom of the NFL, no matter what you think from watching Hard Knocks. The team is not good. But I am excited for the Vikings and the Packers. I think they're both going to have great years.
Yeah, I really like those 2 teams. Make your bets accordingly because they're going to win a lot of games. Thank you for joining me tonight, sir.
No place I'd rather be, brother.
And thank you for listening. You can see our previous podcasts on our channel by subscribing. Also, please drop us a like. For Jimmy Champ, I am Evan Belfiore, and we are No Broken Legs.